Next up in our Women in WordPress series is my friend Louise Towler. Louise, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you for coming along. It's so nice to chat with you. I know we got to know each other a little bit at WordCamp US last year, and it's been exciting to continue our conversations through different means and continue our friendship. I've appreciated that, so thank you.
Definitely.
So, for those people who may not know you, where are you located and what do you do with WordPress?
I'm in the United Kingdom. I run a small agency called Indigo Tree. There's 14 of us in total, and we build websites with WordPress. And I started off doing the builds myself over a decade ago, and now I employ people who are much younger than me and way better than I am at it. So my main role at the moment in WordPress is to keep an eye on what's going on, figure out how we can best serve our clients using WordPress and do more sort of strategic and user experience and design. And then translate that into what the team needs to be able to do an amazing job for our clients.
I've often been told that the smartest people surround themselves with smart people to do
Oh
all the
yeah,
things. So it
it's
sounds to
it
me like you're doing it right.
yeah. The penny dropped when I hired someone who was literally half my age, who was better at it than I was. And it was
Yeah,
like, that's fine. I have no problem with that because
yeah,
he was very technical, but he wouldn't know how to speak to a client about what they needed and translate their customers' requirements and what these customers need into what do you need in a theme and a website. So that's
yeah.
my sort of superpower, I guess.
I guess so. And that's what growth is about, right? Like you start as just you, and then you bring people on and you make sure that you're filling all those puzzle pieces
Yeah.
with people that do different things, but all do it together as one, which I think is really
Yeah,
well done.
I had some great advice when I was starting out from one of my best friends, who is actually one of our accountants, who said, "Don't hire people like you, Louise. Hire people who
Exactly.
are different to you. So you need to surround yourself with people who are different but complementary and sort of fill in the gaps. So all the things I don't like to do, everything that's on my not to do list, I hire people who are happy to do it for me."
Absolutely. When I was freelancing, the first thing I did was hire an accountant because that is not the thing I like to do.
Yeah, I do not get involved in chasing invoices. It's the worst possible conversation. I will just
Yes,
not do it. So
absolutely.
yeah, things like that,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You and I are kindred in that for
Yeah.
sure. Well, why is WordPress your content management system of choice?
Okay, the official answer is because actually I think it's really good.
Hmm.
The unofficial answer is it was entirely accidental because at the time I was hand coding using Dreamweaver,
Oh, yes, I remember those
HTML
days.
website. Yeah, those were the days, many, over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And we had a client, and I'd sold in. It was a local children's centre. I'd sold in a website. Some really nice. I got a great graphic designer doing the designs. Was going to code it in HTML. And one of their trustees said, "Oh, I've heard about this thing called WordPress. Could you build it in WordPress?" And I was sort of in the meeting with them, and I said, "Yeah, I think I can build it in WordPress. That's fine." And then I went away and Googled how to build a website in WordPress, and I'd even forgotten to invoice them for any more money, so it was a change of scope. And that was
Yeah.
back in the day when, I was just happy to get the work, so they didn't
Hmm.
even pay any more for it. But I figured out how to build the website in WordPress and figured out how to build my first WordPress theme.
My one of my first sites that I incorporated e-commerce on, well, first of all, I was charging way not enough money when my freelance days. I was like $300 for a website, and I could build five of these in a week because I had no
Yeah,
idea. And I was like, I charged them $200 extra for e-commerce. And I'll tell you how many hours that took me. I consider that I paid myself over time out of that to
yeah,
learn. And that was the education.
yeah.
So it's not time lost when you've learned a lot for sure.
Yes, if we do go over budget, I'd always like to think there's a learning involved. Either that's
Yes.
about how to quote better for the future, or we've learned something new in the process
Yeah,
that will make us better for the future.
exactly. And if the only thing we learn is to charge more later, that's okay too.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So for
my first hourly rate I think was £25 an hour, which works out at £200 a day. But that was a couple of decades ago.
Yep, yep. I completely understand that. For women who are thinking about a tech career and WordPress career, or who have just begun, what is some advice that you might offer them?
First of all, I'd say get involved in the community because I do think the community is very inclusive, whatever your race or gender or age is.
Hmm.
I would also recommend they be really curious and just try things out and don't be afraid of breaking things. So, one of the things I still do, and I subscribe to newsletters from various people in the repository and various things like post status and
Hmm.
all those sorts of things. Um, I would just keep on reading those newsletters, figuring out who is saying things that is really helpful, finding out about those new little snippets and plugins and interesting things that
Yeah.
people are doing, because you just never know when you can read something on a blog or in a newsletter and then suddenly it pops up in a conversation with a
Hmm.
client, or you realize you don't know how to do something, but know someone who does. And my experience is most people in the community, if you reach out to them, they're really happy to share their knowledge. You might be
Yeah.
competing with them, but you're not really competing. It
Yeah.
is a very nice community from that perspective. If people are really happy to help each other. And then I think the other thing I'd probably do is join some of the Slack, post status,
Hmm.
whatever the country. I'm in the UK Slack community, anything like
Hmm.
that. Go along to meetups if you
Oh, yeah.
can, or dial in, because it's just all about, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know and how you can learn.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me. It's really great to hear all these women's different perspectives and the fact that we actually all still have so much in common, regardless of where we are in the world. It's been really eye-opening to know how connected we are. And I had a friend once say it's a bit, we always say it's a small world. It's a big world, but with small circles, is what she always said. And I think that WordPress makes that very true. So I really appreciate you taking some time from your evening today to talk with
You're
me.
most
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
My pleasure.